If you're a lineman in charge of keeping the lights on, Grainger understands that you go to great lengths and sometimes heights to ensure the power is always flowing, which is why you can count on Grainger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery, so you have everything you need to get the job done. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mo Kelly, live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and the iHeartRadio app. And I have to start off with not really an argument, a slight disagreement with Mark Ronner and the number one movie this week, which is Weapons. It brought in $71 million worldwide, $43 million domestically. And I saw it over the weekend. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was not a perfect movie. It was not. But I was having a chat with some other people, 12. I think you were in on it as well. Mm-hmm. I like movies which are creatively brave, as someone else put it, that you're trying to tell different stories, like a Get Out, like a Sinners, or like a Memento, if you want to go back sometime. Telling movies sometimes in a non-linear way. And it's not something that you come away saying, oh, I've seen that before. No, I've never seen this before. Some plot points I didn't necessarily care for, but overall, I enjoyed it. Maybe not to the nth degree as Mark did, but I thought it was well worth the time. Mark?
I'm not sure what we would argue about, because I think we more or less think the same about it. I think I mentioned in my review Friday that I reached a point in the movie where I had no idea where it was going. And I wasn't quite impatient, but I was thinking this better pay off, and it really, really did. I mean, by the end, did you shout during the final act?
No. It was a satisfying final act, and I know it's a satisfying movie because it sat with me, and I was just thinking about it for like the next hour or two afterward. I question some motives of characters. I don't want to give away anything because it's a movie you need to go in cold.
Yeah, don't read anything about it before you go in. And if you see anybody spoil anything on social media, scold them and threaten them.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what the title means. I'm not going to tell you, look, if you see the trailer, that's enough. In fact, it might even be too much.
Yeah, go into it blind. I didn't know that much, and I was grateful for it because it's a ride. It takes you on a ride. What I will say, without spoiling a thing for anybody, is that it does switch gears and becomes kind of a different movie and a different kind of movie in the third act. But that's fine. That works for me.
Oh, I do have to mention this. Julia Garner, who is a star, she is an Oscar or two waiting to happen.
She's terrific in this movie.
I don't know if this is going to be the vehicle for that. I don't know if she's found her, her classic biopic where she inhabits the persona of someone else and gets that Oscar. But she is just great in everything I see her in. And you think about Julia Garner, who may be the least well known of the major players in this movie, when you got Josh Brolin, Benedict Wong. I was kidding with friends. It's basically a Marvel movie with the people they have in here. Alden Ehrenreich,
she's really distinctive looking. I think her Oscar role is going to be as Stan Laurel. she's an unusual looking actress.
No. She has a very, if I were to make a comparison, she's like Adrian Brody in that regard. She's not going to be regarded as a quote unquote sex symbol, and there's nothing wrong with that. But her looks do not get in the way or distract from her acting. And she can inhabit so many types of characters because it doesn't seem out of place. Let's say hypothetically, you have a Halle Berry or an Emma Thompson or someone who is known for their beauty. And you get distracted by that, and you don't necessarily have the same level of appreciation for the acting performance. She is not unattractive, not at all. I'm just saying she's very distinct in her look, and it's not classic beauty. That's the only way I can describe it.
Okay, is this a horror film, though?
It's kind of a mystery horror, and the horror ramps up by the end.
Like I said with Get Out and Sinners, you go in not clear what the movie is about, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, it's something really different. That was the case with Sinners. That was the case with Get Out. Yeah. And that's why I would liken it to this, is where part of the appeal of the movie. It is a mystery, and certain things are happening, and you don't know why they're happening. And you, with the rest of the audience, you're just going along for this ride, and there are revelations and there are MacGuffins along the way. And all of a sudden you realize what's going on. I think they could have better explained some of the motivations for why the things were going on. We could argue about that after you've seen it. Mm-hmm. But I enjoyed it. I really did. I like creative bravery in filmmaking.
Now, just one other note about this. The director, I think his name's Zach Kreger, he's directing the next Resident Evil movie.
Yeah, I saw that.
If you were burned out on those, or you thought the Milla Jovovich Resident Evil movies were garbage, this is exciting.
That I saw, and I said, wow, that's going to take that franchise back in the right direction.
Are they rebooting it and starting over, or what?
They're not basing it on like the character Leon from the games, because he said that story's already been told. So I am excited to see what he comes up with. This is going to be worth seeing.
Okay. I'd be willing to revisit that franchise. You know, because I like Milla Jovovich as an actress. I didn't like her in that.
Well, this guy has turned out, I don't know if you saw his previous movie, Barbarian, which was very decent, respectable. I didn't love it like some people who are horror fans are saying they did, but I thought it was well worth a watch. This guy's going to be somebody to watch for a long time.
Coming in number 2 this week is Freakier Friday. Didn't have any desire to see it.
No.
It brought in 43 million worldwide. I'm quite sure it will make its money back, but
yeah.
You know,
I mean,
I'm not the audience.
Both of them right now, both the actresses, you know their names.
Jamie Lee Curtis and that other one.
The young one.
Yeah.
The one that were in the original.
Yeah, the one who got all those problems and everything.
Yeah,
she was the one we thought was bound for prison.
Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah. But now she's all right.
Yeah.
So she's good, and people like them.
Yeah.
People like them, and
wonderful.
And Lohan has turned it around. I think Cobra Kai really helped kick her back off in the right direction.
She was on Cobra Kai.
She was in Cobra Kai?
Remember, she was one of the judges.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Didn't even notice. Fantastic Four, First Steps, came in 3rd. It is slowing down in its momentum. It brought in some $15 million gross this week. Its total tally is $435 million. It's going to struggle to get $500 million, but you can argue it's rebooting a franchise, and it's in the same wheelhouse as Captain America Brave New World, and Thunderbolts is performing on the same level. Is it disappointing to Marvel? Yes, if you judge it against previous Marvel success. You know, a movie which underperformed with Marvel 6 years ago was like not making $1 billion. It only made $800 million, like a Doctor Strange movie. It only made $800 million. Now it's like it only made $445 million.
What are you attributing this to, by the way?
When you say stuff like that, and I get it, I know your argument is business, but no, it's like right now, the entire movie landscape, everything right now, with the exception of 2 outliers right now, are only hitting this mark. There is nothing right now in all of moviedom that's doing it for any theater.
Okay.
I mean, for any company.
All I'm saying is, yes, and I'm going to go back to the numbers, because usually with Marvel movies, they were being successful in multipliers. The movie may have cost $200 million, maybe $100 million in marketing and promotion, and it would bring in $600-700 million at least. So it was a multiple of 2 in which they were making money. Now they're just breaking even and creeping into profitability, because they're still spending the same amount of money on these movies, and they're not losing money, and people still have interest in the MCU. I think part of it is because they have not come with they'll never be able to duplicate the magic of Marvel Phase 3 and 4. You had a lot of major movie stars, good movies, and a building excitement to what turned into be Avengers Infinity War. These movies are not working the same way, because we talked about, I think it was Marvel Phase 5, which really didn't connect to anything.
No, you're onto something with that. I think that movies like Quantumania and Thor Love and Thunder, which were terrible, and maybe even Shang-Chi, which wasn't terrible, but not that much good either.
Eternals.
The Eternals was just a snooze fest. I think a lot of people didn't get over those, and they that did some damage to the brand.
And it takes a while for people to come back. Look, it's just like in the music industry. You're only one hit away from returning to the top. They just have not had that one hit yet.
Well, I think all these movies that they've kicked off this phase with, I mean, Captain America, Brave New World, it's not only not Chris Evans, Steve Rogers, it's an entirely different Captain America, a black Captain America, and it's like the fifth bite at the apple of Captain America. When you look at Thunderbolts, unless you saw all of these movies and Disney Plus series, you don't know who these people are.
Well, that's being a victim of your own success.
Yeah.
Because we always get asked by people who work here, what do I need to see before I see this? Or what do I need to see before seeing that? And I try to tell them, you need to see everything, honestly. I don't have the heart to tell them. Hey, I don't have the heart to tell them that. But I say, oh, you can just see, Black Widow, and you'll be fine for Thunderbolt. So you'll get a general idea. You won't be able to enjoy it like I do.
And actually they won't. They have to see Black Widow. They have to go.
I know.
Yeah, but, and then Fantastic Four.
Falcon, Winter Soldier.
Fantastic Four, they've had a slew of poo-poo films before this one. And people are kind of like,
Let's continue this on the other side. It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI M640 Live, everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mr. Mo Kelly, live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. Let me just go back to the top 10 movies this week. Coming in at number 4, and this is a perfect example, at least to me, of why some people get disenchanted with movies, just being lazy. I didn't see The Bad Guys 1. I don't know if there was any real desire for them to make a Bad Guys 2. And it's performing mediocre, probably underperforming. It's in its second week, and it's grossed a total of $84 million. But for an animated property, those are the ones who should do very well in the summer.
Especially during the summer. Yeah.
Was anyone asking for it? No, but they have the IP, so why not just make another one? Yeah. Number 5 this week, Mark, The Naked Gun. You should be happy to know that it's made a whole $56 million.
My God, I hope they don't make another one of those.
They probably will, unfortunately.
I had read something quoting Liam Neeson saying he thought it was a one and done, but you never know.
I'm trying to find the budget was $42 million. Let's say it was $25-30 million marketing promotion. It still has not made its money back yet.
What's weird to me is seeing people come out of it saying that they laugh their heads off, because I didn't laugh once. It's such a Rorschach. Humor is so subjective. I thought this was objectively stupid, but it got a high rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, there are a lot of movies which do well among critics, which it doesn't transfer to actual audiences.
Sometimes critics can be out of touch. I mean, I've got a friend who's an editor at Variety, and I get no shortage of mileage out of teasing her about how out of touch hacks their critics are. But this one is really puzzling, because I kind of want you to see it, Mo, just to confirm that I'm not nuts. I thought it was just shockingly unfunny.
I don't need to see a movie to know that you're crazy, Mark.
Well, you agreed with me on Weapons. You agreed with me on Weapons.
You stopped yourself. You stopped yourself. I won't even ask. Coming in number 6 this week is Superman, and I know Tawala loved it. I think Mark somewhat loved it.
Oh, yeah, I did. It was really good.
Got to have an honest conversation, because the money does matter. It's gross worldwide, $579 million. It's going to fall short of Man of Steel. It just is. No matter how much you love it, how much supposedly the executives at Warner Brothers love it, it's not the monetary return that they were hoping for big picture.
We're going to get more of that. We're going to get more of David Cornsweet as Superman, and I hope they really put him to good use.
They've already greenlit the sequel. So,
well, of course, they've committed to James Gunn.
Well, they've got to crank these things out faster, because I know that Gunn is working on the Supergirl movie sooner than that.
I think that's next year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that one is pretty much already are almost wrapped. Like they last reported that they're almost done with it.
And there's a Clayface movie that absolutely nobody was asking for. Yeah, I don't want that. Get to work on another Superman movie. It's like They dragged out the Bond movies till there was 4 or 5 years between them. The Batman movies, another one like that.
Yeah.
Just get down to business. Come on.
I think the Batman 2 is 2027.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's way too much time in between.
No one cares about the Batman. No one cared about Batman.
I'm with you, but still, you still have to cultivate the audience. And if you want us to invest in these characters and the actors who are playing the characters and the movies and the franchises they represent, you have to give them to us a little quicker. 5 years is way too long.
Not remember, but note back in the 60s, there was like a year maybe between huge James Bond movies,
Mm-hmm.
like a year or 2 years max between Goldfinger and Thunderball. And there were no bigger movies in the world. We can do that.
And only 3 years in between the Star Wars movies, 77, 80, and 83.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, with the Superman film, they dropped this one. They're doing Supergirl next year, and they're also doing Supergirl and Clayface come out next year. They have also 2 series. They have Peacemaker season 2, and they have the Green Lantern series, which features a lot of folks from. So with James Gunn, he's a little tighter when it comes to universe building. He's not going to leave us without seeing a lot of these characters in between. And then the Batman film, the one that he's doing, comes out in 2027. So it's kind of like, we're getting some stuff. I mean, it's not going to be that sparse.
I just don't agree with that mentality, giving us some stuff. I want to see the main characters on the big screen. Yeah, it's nice if we get Corn Sweat and, doing a cameo in Peacemaker season 2 or something. But as far as moving the larger story forward, give me the big stuff. Give me the meal. I don't need garnish on the plate. That's just me.
Okay, you're crazy.
I know.
Everyone wants the garnish.
But I'm not as crazy as Mark, though. There are levels to this.
Yeah.
He's psychotic. I'm just mentally disturbed.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Diane Time is here when we come back. KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Diane Time's here.
KFI, Mr. Mo Kelly, live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and social media. Let me tell you about 2 people. Marcone da Silva Cardoso and Adriana Machado Ribeiro. They were in Brazil back on Monday, August 4th. They were parked near a scenic overlook. Now, Marcone, he was 26. And Adriana, she was 42. So I'm not into, no judgment as far as May December romance or age gap relationships. I'm just saying, after a certain age, you probably should be beyond having sex in a car. I'm thinking.
I don't know. There's some mystique, some magic to it.
The last time I had sex in a car, I think I was 20, and it was only because I didn't have my own place. You would think if one of the two is 42 years old, they would have a place to go or would be able to afford a hotel.
No, see, look. It's not always about the place to go or the hotel. Look, I remember the Grunion run. I think I was 22. We watched the Grunions run, and it got a little wet because the water was out there. It was splashing a little bit. She had to change, and I said, "Well, hey, slow down before you put those clothes on."
But neither of you was 42. Okay, there's a difference.
No. But if I was in my 20s,
yes,
and I had some fine old cougar. Like, let's go up to Lookout Point. I'm going to Lookout.
The 26-year-old makes more sense than the 42-year-old.
Nah, she's cheating on somebody.
Well, that's
she can't be at the house.
Yeah, you're right. So this 26-year-old and 42-year-old were in a car at the scenic overlook in Brazil. They started having sex, as the story goes, and the car, I guess, started moving forward. Maybe it slipped out of gear in neutral, and it started rolling forward, and it fell 350 feet off the cliff. No survivors, unfortunately.
Do you think he finished?
I don't think so. Because that's why they didn't realize the car was moving. Because due to the sex, the car was moving.
Got you. So
And I have to assume he was not at the finish line at that point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, people always lie and say, well, if I have to die, that's what I want. No, that means you didn't finish. That makes it worse. That means you were interrupted in the worst way.
In the worst way.
In the worst way. Nothing kills the mood like falling off a cliff. So I'm told.
Now, Mark.
No.
You don't even know what I'm going
He's
to ask.
handing you off in the past.
Just plain no. Move on to the next thing and leave me out of it.
He's very comfortable talking mess about other people and other people's lives.
Right?
He has no limits or barriers, compunction. It doesn't matter. He will talk about us all day long.
All right. It was a 1974 Gran Torino, and that's all I'm going to say.
What? That's amazing.
Was it with Clint Eastwood?
Never mind.
Dude, you had a Gran Torino, and man, dude, I am so jelly.
There's the old Starsky and Hutch car, except it wasn't that color. Nobody had that.
But
red.
it had like the bench back seat, didn't it?
Oh yeah, those things were massive, and they had massive engines in them too.
I'm sure.
Is this like a metaphor or something?
I'm sure they did. Massive backseat, massive engine.
Yeah, you could go from 0 to 60 in a very short amount of time.
There you go.
Whatever that means.
There you go, Mark. Bring it on out with that Gran Torino.
That's all I'm saying. Statute of limitations is over.
Tony, yes, you're not going to get out of this conversation. Your last car escapade was when?
Yeah, it's been a while.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Specify with someone else.
Yeah.
College.
Oh, come on, Dale.
College days, a Jeep,
Oh, yeah, at least more room in the Jeep.
No, there's no Jeep in the Jeep. No,
there's no room.
The Wrangler? No.
That's a small back seat. That's only front seat.
I'm thinking there's no top on it. Like you take the top off.
Well, yeah, the top was off in other ways.
You can stand up that way.
Yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
One of you could.
Wait,
Roll bar, yeah.
What top was off?
Grab
Yes.
the bar.
The Jeep top.
Yes.
The Jeep top, yeah.
Grabbing the bar.
But you do have something to hold on to for leverage. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask Carnation.
No,
We're just going to leave that alone.
I'm just gonna leave that alone.
Ooh, boy. Look at the
Wait.
time.
Some people here are exempt. What is this?
Yeah, no,
You're damn right. She's exempt.
She's exempt.
I am not asking a woman the last time she had sex in a car.
Nope.
No.
No, sirree, Bob. No, sirree, Bob. Carnation, not even in here.
I'm not even going to have a misunderstanding like that.
I don't
No,
even
sir.
know who's laughing
No.
right
Nope.
now? Nope.
I think she wants to talk about it.
Well,
No,
then you
she
ask
does
her.
not.
You ask her. Say, I, Mark Warner, want to ask you, Carnisha.
Hey, it's later with Mo Kelly, not later with me.
Well, you want to know? Go 0 to 60 with Carnisha.
My mind is not inquiring like that.
Nope.
Nope. Nope. We're good.
Couple cowards here.
You're damn right.
Hey, look.
I'm scaredy cat.
Bark, bark, bark.
Oh my gosh.
Carnisha, you've got free will. You can say whatever you want.
I'm fine.
See?
Plead the fifth.
There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640. It's later with Mo Kelly. Coming up in just a few moments will be Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie, who joins me right now to give us a preview. George, how's your weekend?
Not bad, Bo. How about yours?
Not bad, a little heavy. Still dealing with the Stefan news and also his recovery.
Oh, that's right. That was very sad.
Yeah, but he's on the mend, and hopefully if you heard the promo with Tim Conway Jr., we'll get to hear his voice on the air tomorrow with him.
Great. Well, we've got a great program tonight. We're going to talk about the supernatural, and then later on, actor Thomas Jane joins us to talk about UFOs on Coast to Coast.
Whoa, wait a minute. Thomas Jane as like the Punisher, Thomas Jane?
That one. He loves UFOs, and he wants to talk about it on the show, so here he comes.
I'm kind of jealous because I've always liked Thomas Jane as an actor.
I'll tell him
Always.
you said I.
Please do. And I loved him on The Expanse as well.
He's been great. I loved him in that TV movie 61.
Oh, that was good. When he was in Deep Blue Sea. I mean, I've seen all of his work, but I don't want to hold you, but I'll definitely be listening because I want to hear some Thomas Jane.
You got
Great
it.
get. And before we get out of here tonight, I did want to remind people one last time, since we were talking about Stephen. You heard the promo from Tim Conway Jr. I know they're working to see if they can get Stephen on the line tomorrow from the hospital. But as you've heard from my conversation with his mother, Barbara, who joined us at the top of the show, it's touch and go as far as his surgeries and the timing of when he might be lucid during the day. So all of that, I'm quite sure, is trying to be worked out behind the scenes. If you missed my conversation with his mother, Barbara, I encourage you to check out the podcast later on. Tuwala is putting it together right now where you can hear a mother's perspective about concern for her child. You'll get to hear a nurse's perspective, as Barbara is a nurse as well, as far as what she saw when she first saw her son. Oh, and more importantly, what she did when she realized her son was missing or they could not find him, the steps that she took to track her own son down. And it was mind-blowing to me because she was telling the story of when she got to the hospital. She was at the hospital for hours before she could even see Stephen. So there was a lot of great information and filling in the blanks of Stephen's story, which is still, even now, still being pieced together. If you heard Tim Conway Jr.'s show earlier today, he talked to two of the individuals responsible with saving Stephen's life. So there's a lot of good conversation. Hopefully it was uplifting. If you heard it, it was very positive. It gave me just a little bit of renewed faith in society. Not a lot, because we need more of these good Samaritans, these heroes, people who are willing to put themselves in harm's way. It hopefully will be more of a regular occurrence as opposed to an isolated incident. So very thankful that Stephen is with us. And if you heard the conversations with Tim Conway Jr., you know that without these good Samaritans, unfortunately, Stephen would have died a horrible death, burned alive in his car, if not for these good Samaritans. So check out those conversations on the Tim Conway Jr. show. And you can also check out my conversation with Barbara, Stephen's mother, earlier and later with Mo Kelly. And also, before we get out of here, I want to say something to Steph, who I know is out of his third surgery, and there's a good chance that he's listening right now, or his mother's listening right now. We love you guys. We are pulling for you. It's one thing to pull for Stephen because he has the physical trauma that he's dealing with, but let's not forget his family also dealing with the emotional trauma and the uncertainty of seeing a loved one who's obviously suffering and has been through a lot and is going to be going through so much more. And just be very, very transparent. When Barbara was talking about walking in and seeing Stephen intubated, if you have never had a family member intubated, it will change you. To see a family member with a breathing tube is not anything you can prepare for. It doesn't matter if it's a parent, does not matter if it's a grandparent, sibling. It is not something that you can prepare for. And it was unnerving to Barbara, his mother, who's a registered nurse, and it'll be unnerving to anyone else. And I would not wish that on anyone. And when I heard from Sharon Belial that Stephen was originally intubated, that gave me great concern, because when you are given a breathing tube, it can go either way at that point, especially when you're talking about an accident of that magnitude. So praise Jesus, as I would say. I'm appreciative of all the blessings that he's bestowed upon Stephen and his family. There's still a long, long way to go. And that's why I still encourage you and anyone else who's listening, it's okay to keep donating to the GoFundMe. We're presently at $98,552 raised. I like nice round numbers, so if we can get to 100,000 before midnight, that would be just swell. Because there's so much that Stephen is going to have to do in his recovery, and we don't know. It's open-ended as to how long it's going to take. I asked his mother point blank how long she expected Stephen to possibly be in the hospital, and she, as a registered nurse, could not even hazard a guess, because there was a lot more work to be done as far as reconstructing his left arm. And I was reminded tonight that he's left-handed, as I am, And so there's another facet to this as far as learning how to rely on his offhand for the foreseeable future for an inordinate amount of time. And that's going to be another challenge which is awaiting him. But all in all, I would say today was a good day. I can't speak for anyone else, but it was a difficult weekend. Stefan was on my mind all weekend long because we knew some, but we didn't know all. We didn't get to hear his voice unless you checked out KFI social media or my social media. Got to hear his voice yesterday evening, which helped me personally and emotionally. And I think it helped a lot of people out there to hear. He sounded like Stefan. Amazingly, he sounded just like himself, even though he clearly could not have been just himself.
It was a huge relief to hear his voice,
wasn't it?
After all that worrying,
it really was, and it sounded like, okay, it might be all right. It might be all right. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.